What's up, guys? I'm Chris, and today you're watching a magic review on Psychometric by Wragg. Psychometric is a psychometry routine designed for the 21st century. So this comes with a 54-page booklet and 5 gimmicked, hardly gimmicked cards that allow you to perform this routine. Now, there are also so many alternatives that have been included with this booklet so that if you don't want to use gimmicked cards, you don't have to. If you want to differentiate the different cards with different methods, they allow you to do that. There's so much packed into this little booklet. Now, it's a 54-page book. The quality on that is great. It was published by Hairsign Press. And there are contributions throughout by some pretty big names, so I'll just read them off here. You have contributions by Michael Murray, Jeff Evason, Stephen Young, Mick Wilson, Steve Hairsign, and Mark Chandaue. Ian is going to break things down. He gives you much more than what's necessary to perform this, but that's the beauty of this, is you have so many options, whether it comes to using the cards themselves or other methods and principles, to where you can apply if you want to use business cards, or if you want to use lanyards, if you want to use just a number of things, right? He's going to give you a number of different principles as well as contributions from others so that you can perform an amazing psychometry routine. So what do you get? You will get the booklet here. Now, the quality of this is great. I'm going to kind of go over the table of contents just because I want you to know that you're getting a lot more than just what's included with the gimmicks. And I use gimmicks very loosely because it is hardly gimmicked. And if you don't want to use gimmicked props, you don't have to. So what you're going to get here is the introduction and then Wragg's routine. He talks about what's in this. He talks about the history. He talks about preparation. Very, very little preparation. And like I mentioned, there's different ways of going about this. So if you don't want to do it the way that I have done it, there's so many more options. And then you'll get performance routines, the basic routine, performance ideas, a close-up and table hopping version. So this can be done on stage. This can be done close-up, strolling, table hopping. This can be a 20-minute routine if you want, or this can be a 2-minute routine. It's completely up to you. And then you're going to get the contributions from Michael, Jason Evason, Stephen Young, Mick Wilson. You're also going to get a number of teachings on cold reading, graphology, forensic document analysis, and aura reading. So there's quite a bit of detail when it comes to cold reading. All of those things, actually. Basically, the last 20 pages of the book talk about different ways that you can give readings and things like that. There's also additional ideas on top of what I just listed on ways that you can present this. So you're getting so much with this. And then you will get 5 plastic cards that are almost ungimmicked. The method behind the most basic principle is so deceptive, but if you don't want to use that, like I said, there's so much more that you can do. But you'll get 5 gimmicked cards. Now, what's great about these is that they're just basically blank credit cards. They kind of remind me of hotel cards, and I actually had an idea of using hotel cards with this. If you live in a town with a well-known hotel, you could go and get 5 hotel keys. That way it looks very organic. I know some people don't like that word, but it is. Or if you want to use blank billets, if you want to use business cards, if you don't want to use any cards themselves, you can use lanyards and have participants attach objects onto the lanyards. I guess to talk more about the routine, Because what is psychometry? What is the routine? So basically, you will have 5 people attach personal items onto the key tags, and they will go into a bowl where they're mixed up. Now, as your participants are attaching items, you're turned around so that you don't know what items are being put on which key tag. The nice thing about these here is that with the dry erase marker, you can also have your participants write down a question, write down a color or a piece of information, whatever, right? And you're able to identify which object or which item belongs to which person at the end, to which you're also able to answer the question that they wrote down or give them a reading on their favorite color, because they don't know that you know what belongs to which person, and you're able to do that very, very easily with these 5 cards or one of the alternate methods that's provided in this book. So your tutorial is basically everything that's in this book, right? You can do the most basic handling, or you can go as much into detail, or present this as an entire stage routine that can last, like I said, quite long if that's something that you want to do. It depends how much detail, thought, and time that you want to put into this. Difficulty level. With all the options that are included, the most basic, it's extremely easy to do. So deceptive. The method is brilliant, but it's extremely easy to do. This honestly couldn't be easier. Angles. This is 100% angle proof. There's nothing that your participants are going to see. Can it be inspected? 100%. They're going to be handling these. So when it comes down to the cards, when it comes down to the string, or if you do a lanyard or any other way that will allow you to attach, or allow them to attach an item to a tag or whatever you're using, basically they're going to be able to handle everything, right? They have to, because they're putting on items themselves. Then they will come up, put the items into the bowl, and before you go into your performance and presentation, you can mix things up, and as you take out each item, you're going to know who it belongs to. So this can be presented in the most basic form, where if you don't want to give readings, you don't have to, right? If you're intimidated by cold reading or any of those things, right? This can simply be a mentalism routine to where you are returning each item back to their owner, which is something in itself, because you should have no way of identifying who belongs to, or what belongs to who. Everything can be inspected. As far as pocket space goes, right, if you are performing this strolling or walk around, maybe you don't want to use the ID, or not ID cards, but maybe you don't want to use the plastic cards that are this big. Maybe you want to use something smaller. So, this could be done on tags. Basically, use your imagination, or use one of the options in this book. What you're really paying for is the principle behind this, because you can apply the method and the principle to almost anything. So if you want to have something a lot smaller than these for table hopping or strolling, then you completely have that choice. So what's the price on this anyway? I don't know if it's exclusive to Mind Effects, which is Michael Murray's website. You can buy it there, and it's 35 euros. You may be able to pick this up directly from Ian. I'm not sure. I went to his website and I didn't see anywhere to purchase this, but that's not to say that you can't pick it up direct. That's probably an option if you get a hold of them. But yeah, it's 35 euros, and is it worth that? Honestly, that is an absolute steal for the amount of information that you're getting in this. Not only information specific to this routine, but so many alternatives, and then the contributions from other big names. Ian has so many good ideas and so much to say on this, that just that alone, it's worth the price. But then on top of that, getting, a breakdown of cold reading and different ways to incorporate that, and also what it is and how to do it. And then the aura reading, the graphology, there's so much packed into this book. If you didn't include any gimmicks, you would still be getting your money's worth just with this book, and then some. Arts and crafts, setup and reset. There might be a little bit of arts and crafts, but not really. Basically, you decide how you want to use these cards, or how you want to use, I guess, anything that you're going to use, and you set it up. So for me, I chose to just use the cards as they came. Now, they don't come with holes in them because you may want to use these in other ways. So Ian has made it so that you can decide how you want to use these cards, if you even want to use them. But as far as arts and crafts go, I can only share how it went for me, because this is how I chose to do it. So basically, your participant will attach their item onto this string, tie it up, and throw it into the bowl or box or whatever you're using. But to put holes in these and to thread the string through all of them, this maybe took me 10 minutes. So for me, one-time setup, this is how I chose to go about it, and I would hardly consider this arts and crafts. It's just a very quick preparation, 10 minutes. Setup and reset, there really is no setup, right? You can just have these out, you can present them to people, hand them out one by one. Reset, I think you're only going to be performing this once if you're doing it for stage, but if you're doing it strolling or table hopping, the reset is very quick. If this is something that you're using in that setting, I would go with some kind of quick clip, maybe just have a lanyard or some other type of, I don't know, something where you can just kind of clip things together so that it's not taking too much time for them to tie it together and for you to untie it and give items back, right? If you're performing or doing this table hopping, you want it to be quick. So the way that I have it set up, the reset is, well, it's not instant, but I mean, you're basically resetting things. It's reset after you give the items back to your participants. So maybe not an instant reset, but the reset is happening while you're performing. So kind of instant. I don't know what you'd say about that. But yeah, if you are performing this table hopping, just make it so that you can clip and unclip things quickly, and your reset is still happening while you perform. Is it a worker, and who would use this? This is 100% a worker, whether you're doing close-up, stage, strolling. I think that this really shines with stage, but the versatility of it allows you to perform this anywhere. If you're doing this at table hopping or strolling where there's 2-3 people, then this is great. On stage, I would definitely recommend getting 5 people up. But depending on how long you want this performance to be, maybe you only want to do it with 2 or 3 people. That's an option as well, because if you're doing the readings and things like that, this can get lengthy. But again, that's completely up to you, how long you want this to be, how in depth you want it to be, and what you want to do. If you want to do readings, if you want to answer questions, kind of have a Q&A, or if you just simply want to return which item belongs to which person, you can do it that way. So as far as is it a worker goes, yeah, you can get so much mileage out of this. If you're doing a stage show, this could take up a good amount of time if you want it to, right? And like I said, you can perform this in any environment or in any situation or setting. So it's definitely not limited to stage. It's not limited to close-up or strolling. You have whatever option that you want. Do I or will I use this? I have tested it out a couple of times, and honestly, yeah, I'm gonna use this in every show that I do. I'm actually thinking of using this as my closer for the theater show that I have coming up in October. So it's very, very powerful, very strong. Oh, there's also some thoughts in here by Faden Billick, which I need to mention just because he's phenomenal when it comes to mentalism. And usually he does things propless, where with this, yeah, sure, you do have props, but they are so minimal. As far as propless goes, you could essentially do this almost propless, right? Because you can borrow items. There's ways of marking things on the fly. So yeah, it's so good. But anyway, yes, I will use this. It's absolutely phenomenal. Positives and negatives, I think I've listed so many positives already. The versatility of this, the amount of information and teaching that you're getting is just above and beyond. As far as the gimmicks go themselves, it's all positives, right? Because what's included is amazing. It's great. And these aren't going to wear out, right? Once you kind of set these up the way that you want to, these are going to last forever. And using dry erase, you have so many options of how you want to present this, and you can get so much out of just these simple cards. So the positives are endless. Negatives, honestly, nothing, because if you don't like one option, or if that doesn't suit you or your style, there's just so much more where I think every single mentalist will benefit from this, right? I think everybody will learn something. I think there's something that everybody can use in this. So I don't think anybody could honestly give this a negative, because yeah, you don't like one thing, just use one of the other things in here. So with that, I think that I've covered everything I can on this. I would highly recommend this. It's such a good price for everything that you're getting. It's honestly underpriced by so much. Yeah, with that, I will leave a link in the description so you can pick this up, and you should. But with that, I think that's all I have to say, and we will see you at the next review.